بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of June, 2022, and in our series, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 330. These days, in these broadcasts, we are looking at verse 102 of the Holy Quran, and this is the 11th broadcast regarding verse 102 of the Holy Quran. These broadcasts are brought to you by LASER, Lahore MDS School of Education in Religion, which is a branch of the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement. Just to remind you that the Ahmadiyya movement was created by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh. And he taught that although other Muslims say that after the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, another prophet will come, this cannot be correct because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet Muhammad was Khatamun Nabiyyin. So he explained, the Holy Prophet himself explained the last prophet. So no prophet can now come, whether it's an old prophet or a new prophet, no one can come. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also explained that his claim was that of a mujaddid or reformer, as stated in hadith, and as mujaddids had appeared before him. Umar bin Abdul Aziz and Hazrat Shah Waliullah and so on. Sayyid Ahmad Shaheed. In some centuries, 2 or 3 mujaddids appeared. But Hazrat Sahib said that his distinction was that the person that other ahadith speak about, the Messiah and Mahdi, the prophecies of their coming were fulfilled in his person. And that was his distinction, that he was the Mujaddid whom the Holy Prophet Muhammad called the Messiah and Mahdi. And he further said that some people say that some prophetic revelation has been missed out from the Holy Quran. Some prophetic revelation which is in the Holy Quran has been abrogated or cancelled. So it's there, we recited, but it's no longer effective. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that this cannot be right. Because God says, I have revealed it and I am its guardian, about the Holy Quran. That being so, how is it possible that some prophetic revelation has been missed out from the Holy Quran? And some that is in the Holy Quran, the command is abrogated. Its order has become ineffective. These things basically show that the Holy Quran is not complete and it's not perfect. And he said that in the Holy Quran, God says that I revealed it and I am its guardian. So anything, how can the Holy Quran be less than perfect if that is the case? And he also said that people say that jihad means you take the sword and you go and kill non-Muslims unless they embrace Islam. He said, we have to take the Holy Prophet's definition of jihad, who, when returning from fighting one time, said that Muslims were returning from Jihad Asghar, minor jihad, to Jihad Akbar, the greater jihad. And the greater jihad, the Holy Prophet explained, is jihad bin nafs. Jihad or struggle to contain your own selves, inner selves, your desires, your anger, your greed, your enmity and animosity, and 1,000 other things that we all know. So let us turn to what we are going to think about today. And as I said, this is a very long verse of the Holy Quran. And so I will only recite the section about which we are going to talk. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقولا إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر. Nor did they teach it to anyone. So that they should have said, we are only a trial, so disbelieve not. So we're going to look at the word hatta. That's the first word we're going to look at. So let us go to my notes on the computer if I can find them. Here we are. Hatta is simply a preposition meaning unless. That's about it. There's not a lot more you can say about that. The next word we are going to look at is Yakula, and its triliteral root is qaaf, wa, laam, and using these three letters, based on these three letters, we find 6 different words in the Holy Quran, and in total they appear in the Holy Quran 1722 times. In technical language, you will say the triliteral root qaaf, wa, lam occurs 1722 times in the Quran in 6 derived forms. Or as I said, based on this root, these letters, 6 different words are made, And in total, they appear in the Holy Quran 1722 times. 1618 times it's qala. And 92 times it's qawl. So, well, 1722 and 92, if you add them, sorry, 1618 and 92, if you add them, that's nearly 1718, 1710. So all the other words only appear a few times. And the word means to say, it is said, they say, they said, and they will say, etc. For example, chapter 2, right at the beginning, it says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and so on. And then a few verses along, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, and so on. So let us look at the qawl is, if you know Urdu, it's easy. It means to speak to someone, someone's statement, and people say movement is required for that. That is to say, your lips and your tongue, they move. That is a precondition. But we also find in the Holy Quran statements where God is talking about people thinking something, an opinion, and the same word is used for that. So we have chapter 4, verse 122. وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا, and who is more truthful in his call, in what he says, than God. And the thing is that this applies to words, it applies to sentences, it applies to a whole speech, however long it may be. So from a letter to a complete speech, same word is used. And again, say the second meaning, the Holy Quran says, وَيَقُولُونَ فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ لَوْلَا يُعَذِّبُنَ اللَّهِ, chapter 58, verse 8. They say in their heart. Now, if you go to what some people say, that there should be movement of lips and tongue and so on. Well, when you form an idea in your heart or your mind, and there is no movement of your lips or your tongue. This verse of the Holy Quran, they say in their heart. Then, if he is really a prophet, then why doesn't God punish us? And so, as I said, it's also applied to conclusions, comments, etc. It's also applied to believing in something that someone has said. Now, interestingly, it doesn't just apply to human speech and so on. The Holy Quran says, قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبَ. Chapter 18, verse 86. We said to Zulqarnain, why are you troubled? Oh, don't trouble them. Now you see, here the Holy Quran is clearly saying, or God in the Holy Quran is clearly saying, I told this person this thing. And then because generally Muslims don't believe that God speaks to anyone other than prophets, they then start interpreting this. Oh, it must mean this, it must mean that. Well, God says, I sent wahi to the honeybee. The word used there is awhayna. No, sorry, that's Moses' mother. But anyway, let's take that. God says that, I sent wahi to Moses' mother. I sent an angel to Mary. I sent wahi to the honeybee. Here God is saying, I spoke with Zulqarnain and said this to him. And then people will say, history proves and traditions and so on prove that it must have been not like this and it must have been like that and so on. The difficulty is, you see, that we've sort of decided on what we're going to believe. And then having done that, we say, okay, let us now either try and prove it from verses of the Holy Quran or twist the Holy Quran so that it supports us. It should be the other way around. You read the Holy Quran, whatever it says, what you believe should be based on that. But we don't do that. So, and then people say, oh, well, God must have spoken this way or that way, or etc., etc. But then what do you do with chapter 21, verse 69? Qulna ya naru kuni bardam wa salama. Chapter 21, verse 69. Qulna. We commanded. We said to. Now, who is God saying this to? Ya naru, or fire. So how is God talking to fire? And this is something that Muslims are failing to address. And that is, and this is something on which the ulama had laid great stress, that Quran comes first. Don't try and twist it and bring meaning and things into it. Just read it. And whatever it says, simple, straightforward things, that is what you should believe. Because Quran is supposed to be guidance. And if it's very complicated and complex and twisted and so on, how are people going to follow that guidance? They can't. They say that God has cut himself off from human beings. And that is the problem. God hasn't cut himself from human beings. He still communicates with them, talks to them, etc. So, next word is innama, and that's two segments, in and ma, and that's about it. Means only. And the next one is, no, it's the same one. Next one, where are we? Here we are. Nahnu. That simply means we. And then the last word that we're going to look at today, which is fitna or fitnatun. Its triliteral root is fa, ta, and noon. And using this root, these three letters, we find that the Holy Quran uses 5 words, a total of 60 times. 34 times fitnat or fitna, and 23 times fatan, and the others just once. And its basic meaning is that people take precious metals, gold and silver, and they purify. How do they purify gold and silver? And that is that they burn the raw material, and it gets very hot, and the silver and gold or gold, they melt, and they're drained off, and what remains behind is, you know, basically rubbish. So this is a method to purify something, or it means that this is a means of making sort of apparent what something is really like. And sometimes you might have seen, certainly in the days of old, if you went to a jeweler or someone with something, a ring or whatever, and claimed that it was gold or silver, they would rub it. And, it'll get hot and all this kind of thing. So, to test something by heating it up is also its meaning. And so, any difficulty, any trial, fighting, being led astray or leading astray, all these things, this word is used for all these things. So the Holy Quran says, Yoma alan nari yuftanu, chapter 51, verse 13. And when they are punished in the fire, or another place, chapter 51, verse 14, Zuqu fitnatakum, now taste the result of your evil doings. Sometimes this word is used for some action or something that causes God to punish you, that causes your trial. And God says in chapter 20, verse 40, وَفَتَنَّاكَ فُتُونًا, and I tried you many times. So, like, there's another word, bala, which means the same thing. In the same way, fitna means difficulties, trials, and God tests human beings, or can test human beings, by putting them through these trials. God is testing how patient we are. God is testing how grateful we are. There's the story of Hazrat Ayub, called Job, in the Old Testament. And it is said that, God said to Satan, look at my servant Ayub, how grateful he is for my blessing. And Satan said, well, why shouldn't he be grateful? He's got power, he's got money, he's got this, he's got that. So, God said, okay, I will take his power away. And so God took Job's power away, and a little while later said to Satan, look at my servant Job, how grateful he is. And Satan said, well, why shouldn't he be grateful if he still has lots of money and assets and etc., etc. So God said, okay. So God took away Job's wealth and money and all the means of comfort and everything. And then Satan said, well, why shouldn't he be grateful? He's still healthy. So God took his health away as well. And Hazrat Ayub alayhi salam became very ill. And his wife one day said to him, why don't you complain to Allah about, you've lost your power, you've lost your money, you've lost everything. Now you've lost even your health. So Hazrat Ayub said to his wife, woman, why don't you leave me? And his wife said, how can I leave you? I love you. And Hazrat Ayub then said, listen, woman, do you think my love for Allah should be less than your love for me? That you serve me without complaint. In all these things you have served me. And you're telling me that I should complain to Allah. No, I won't do that. Whatever comes, I'll bear that trial with patience. And it is said that after that, when Satan came and Allah said, look at my servant Ayub, he is so grateful. Then Satan had no answer to that. So with that, we have come to the end of the time we have for our broadcast. So I will take my leave of you. with the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep everyone safe and sound and free from harm. Inshallah, we'll meet again tomorrow and we will carry on with sharing ideas. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, goodbye.